Everyone on social media, there's so many people trying to be experts. I am so smart. I am so perfect. Look at me, so on and so forth. Okay, bro, we get it. But the problem with that is they're not relatable, right? Because all they do is win-win no matter what. So I feel like people are just like sick of the crap. And I know that because I've done research on my own audience, which I can share later if you want. But with so many people now creating like AI generated content, that's what it sounds like too. Like, how do you sound smart on social media, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So I was like, why would I compete with these people? That's not the most unique thing about me. The most unique thing about me is the adversity that I've gone through and how I'm still here. And that adversity plus the audacity to tell your story is how you become more authentic to your audience. And if you think about superheroes, there's Superman, a great guy, blah, blah, but freaking boring. All he does is win. I loved Batman because he was a human.
Yeah.
He was a regular human. He had no superpowers whatsoever. He just figured stuff out, right? So he's very much an anti-hero, didn't like a lot of people, blah, blah. But I'll tell you how I arrived at this moment of clarity. I was talking to my book mentor, Bruce Feiler, and I'm at his home in Brooklyn. And he's, okay, just give me your life story, right? Just tell me everything from beginning to end. And I shared much of what I shared with you just now. And he's, I'm curious, and I think other people are curious too. After all the challenges that you've been through, and it's not even the half of it that I told you so far, getting fired, battling alcoholism, but at the same time, over the last 10 years, I've also lost my brother, my father, my son, and my grandfather, and I'm still here. He's like, hearing all this, like, how are you just engaged in these arenas and fighting battles that some people never get a chance in, and you still win, you still thrive, you still survive? How? And I was like, I don't know, man. It's like when I'm at the gym. I'm just a fucking savage. And he's, that's it. That's it. That's what your book should be called, and teach other people how they can become a savage as well. So like I've seen the light bulb go off with you too. It's like, yeah. So yeah, that was an epiphany moment for me. I'm like, wait, so I don't have to pretend to be perfect. I can actually use the story of battling alcoholism, of getting fired, of all this loss as part of my brand to actually help inspire people to say, this guy could do it, maybe I can too. So there was this freedom that came with that. And I was like, yo, this is dope. So I started posting more just like edgy content on social media about who I am and my experiences and my personality. And people were just loving it. I was like, all right, cool. Let me just turn it up a notch. And what I realized is people wanted an identity to really grasp onto. And that's when I came up with the anti-hero persona. And to develop your persona, really, you have to, first of all, get clear on who you are. How do you serve your audience? How do you show up in the world? Whatever it is. Great. You have to have the expertise. Cool. We have that. The other thing you want to think about is this. What unique stories can I tell that make me stand out from the crowd, right? So for me, it's like getting fired, it's all this random stuff, so on and so forth. But then the third thing you have to figure out is, all right, there's two enemies that I have to fight for my audience as an anti-hero. The first is their confusion, their lack of progress, whatever it is that they need help with, I need to fight that enemy for them, right? But there's another enemy that people actually neglect. So when I'm fighting that enemy, I'm saying, hey, here's information on how to build your business. Here's information on how to learn how to knit, so on and so forth, right? So you have to do that. But at the same time, you want to combine your edge, your experiences with that give you the authority to talk about this stuff, right? So we have the authority, we have this information, but there's another enemy you can fight for your audience. So you're not just fighting one enemy, you're fighting two. The other one is the bullshit out there. It's the false idols, the myths that you have to debunk, like all this bad information. It might also be your audience's own mindset that you're fighting for them. So that anti-hero is going to say, hey, look, I know this shit's tough. It was tough for me too, but I know this is the path. All these other guys, they're saying shit just to get you to buy stuff, right? They've been successful for 20 years. They don't know what it's like to grind like I am because I've been doing this stuff recently. So anyways, like when you do that, you get to just tap into this anger that they have, right? And not in a tactful way, but it's like, everyone's been ripped off by some course they bought, not on Teachable, of course, or some like coach, or just taking bad information, so on and so forth. So I'm like, yeah, bro, I hear you. That shit sucks too. I hear you, and I want to help you. So that's the benefit. I mean, you just like, you elicit this emotional reaction from people where they're like, wow, this guy really gets me. He's not just saying like, here's how you build your email list or whatever. He's, hey, I know what it's like when you drop $400 on all this crap and nothing still happens. You feel like you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Really, it's just there's a few tweaks you have to make. Let me give you the real, here's what worked for me.